The Canon Powershot V1 dropped last April, but I feel like it has slipped under the radar ever since its release. If you guys have tuned into this channel before, you know I'm a huge fan of my full frame cameras, but I also love a good compact camera that makes life easier for video creators. Hi everyone, if you're new to my channel, my name is Paula, and I've just spent the last couple weeks really putting the Canon V1 to the test. I've dragged it all the way up snowy mountain roads to the energetic streets of Formula One race week. Originally, I vlogged this experience because I wanted to talk about everything as we go, but we ran into a few hiccups. So instead, I will be showing you all the vlog footage that we took, and then I'll be popping in and out to explain our first time experiencing the Canon V1. Oh, and in case this is the first time that you have heard of this camera, the Canon Powershot V1 is a compact point and shoot that has a fixed lens. It has both photo and video mode, but it's packed with features that I feel are more video focused. Let's get started with day one. Right now it is actually almost winter. I saw some pictures on Instagram about a place that's not too far from here that has a bit of fall foliage. It is in Mount Charleston, which is just about a 35-mile drive away from here. So I figured that would be fun to check out and also shoot some pictures with it. We've basically made it. Apparently we didn't get the memo and it's already winter here. It started to snow. So let's take a look. Okay, oh, here's the snow. Oh, the snow plows are making their way up here. Look at Brian. Ooh, your hair. Oh my gosh. Okay, all right. One thing that I will note so far is the battery life on this goes down a little bit fast. I left the house with it in 100% battery, and just our trip up, I was taking a little bit of B-roll. I'm going up to the mountains and I already killed 2 bars. So that part, I mean, is not the worst, but it can definitely be better. I do have a charger here in the car, so I'm just gonna keep it plugged in for the rest of the day. So we haven't quite left yet. Since we're already up here, we're still gonna take a couple more shots. Brian wants to drive the car down and I'm just going to try to take good video of it. So as you guys just saw, for this portion of the video, we took the camera with us up to the mountains with an unexpected surprise. I was expecting to see a totally different landscape, only to be a full season behind. So that was a pleasant surprise, but nonetheless, it did teach me a couple things right away from using the V1. First off, the size and feel of this camera is awesome. So I have it right here next to me. It is a compact point and shoot, so you should be familiar with the format of everything basically. As far as buttons, everything is mapped out very clearly. But what I really like is how balanced everything feels. Even if you flip out the screen, it doesn't feel like it's too wide or awkward, and it easily flips forward for the LCD camera. So very, very nice, very Canon. Camera has this little light here at the front. It will actually light up red. I can't tell you how many times I have talked for like 10 minutes only to realize that I haven't actually been recording that whole time. So it's nice to have that handy. So I always appreciate that feature being added. For the next part of this video, we're gonna move into Formula One race week, which was actually here a few weeks ago. I know the season's over now and it's so exciting to see the results. We have a new world champion. We're gonna be going into F1, which is set here in Vegas for this video. So let's take a look. So we're here now at the track. Well, this is gonna be one of the turns at the track. We're right in the intersection of Palazzo and Treasure Island. So I can't remember what this exact turn is called, but this is usually where we would go and watch a little bit of the race. But right now, we're gonna try to find our way inside Palazzo. So we were able to park inside the Wynn, and then our plan is to just go walk across the street. Well, right next door, which is to Palazzo. That's where they have one of the biggest merch pop-ups. There's a really long line for the F1 hub, but it looks like it's a whole, I mean, like I said, it's a pop-up, so it's basically a gigantic merch store. I'm not sure if we're gonna line up just yet. We're just trying to go around to see if we can just take a peek inside of what it's like, but holy cow, there's pretty long. So I wanted to pop in really quick to talk about the stabilization. For this test, we are shooting everything handheld. I didn't bring a tripod or anything to help me stabilize the image. So this was a perfect time for me to really put it to the test, so to speak. Using the camera as a front facing, I'm obviously going to be using it at the widest angle, so I'm filming mostly in 16mm. Though there is a little bit of movement as I'm walking, it doesn't feel like it's giving off that wobbly effect. I think it helps because the camera does have a face to focus on. It has that face and eye detection. There is a clip here that I wanted to drop in. So you can see here in this clip, the Venetian is a little bit wobbly. This was at 16mm. Of course, many of you guys might know this already. If you shoot the widest, especially with Canon, I feel like this is something that they are a bit known for, that there is that wobble effect. I know that my R6 Mark II had this as well. Shooting a little bit closer is going to help you minimize that wobble. Shooting at the widest is going to give you a higher chance of that wobble. I want to talk about the internal ND filters on this camera, which has been amazing. If you're working with a camera that is outside in the daytime, it could be easy to forget that it's overexposed. I know that's something that I'm super guilty about, and so that's why I'm so glad that this camera has that. It is one of the quick settings that you can pull up, so it's easy to adjust as you go. You have the option to keep it on, turn it off completely. Definitely something I appreciate. It has C-Log 3, which is a huge game changer for point and shoot cameras. This is my first time using this camera, so I was just rolling everything out of the box. I believe I just had everything set to auto white balance, but I was happy because the C-Log 3 being there allowed the colors to be more dynamic. So in post, I had more control over any adjustments that I would have needed to make. But honestly, I didn't really have to. So very happy with the colors outside of the box on this camera. We're about to get into the nighttime shots, and I wanted to talk about low light shooting. I was honestly not as confident when it started to get dark, but pleasantly surprised with the Canon V1. It held up its own. Granted, the racetrack was pretty well lit, but it is still nighttime, so I'm looking for if there was any noise. We're on the way now to FP2, right? Because FP1 was earlier. Yeah. We were able to see some of the pop-ups around the strip a little earlier today, and then got home to change to a thicker jacket just in case, which is good because it's actually started raining again. So now we're gonna head to the grandstands. Our seats are at the West Harmon. Should be pretty fun, but right now we have to walk all the way there. We parked at Cosmo, so we have, I don't know how far of a walk this is, like a 15-minute walk. Not too bad. Definitely best case scenario at this point. DJ turn it up, he says. Still trying to figure it out. Huh? It says West Harmon's that way. West Harmon, I don't know. We have a map! We have a map! We're almost there. They just started. We can hear the cars passing already.
So lovely, very good. Maybe some Spanish flair back.
Yeah, a little bit of a pickle when we were at the event. It turns out they actually don't allow professional cameras.
I didn't even know this was professional.
I mean, it is. The first year that we did F1, they didn't have a problem with it, so we assumed that the rules were the same this time around, but I guess it makes sense because it's a major event that they are not allowing professional cameras. So unfortunately, Brian could not make it inside. We only really had about 20 minutes left of the race by the time we actually got there, so got to see a little bit of it, but because the whole squad was not there, it just didn't feel the same.
He's on 20 pressure tyres. So yeah, really he's putting out a gap to Madame, so he is comfortably.
How does this guy keep putting fastest lap over fastest lap? With crappier tires now.
A red flag. This is definitely...
This last portion was a little short because we were only able to catch Max Verstappen's win at the end of the night, so we were able to catch the fireworks. Unfortunately, earlier in that day, I brought my camera with me with the intention of vlogging also, but I did not have a memory card, but we did catch it at night. And that's the race. I will actually be working on a full review now that we've gotten a chance to get a bit more familiar, go over the specific features of this camera, and help you guys find out if this is something that's worth checking out. You guys know that my first experience with it has been mostly positive, but there's definitely some things that I have learned about it and some things that it has taught me as well. So they're all good, I think, information for you guys to know about as well. So I'll be working on that probably in the next couple weeks since we're approaching the end of the year. So if you want to learn about what's contained in this compact package, keep an eye out for that video. And that's all for me today. If you all enjoyed this video or found the information helpful, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up down below and subscribe for more tech and gear related videos. Very lastly, I know I've been trying to say that for the last like 20 minutes now, but I wanted to say a big thank you to everyone here who has supported the channel thus far. We've just reached 2,000 subscribers on the channel, and I can't thank you guys enough for being here, whether you are a subscriber that's been around or a brand new visitor to the channel. I always get super excited if even just one person has a takeaway from any of the videos that I work on, whether it's something that helped them make a decision on something or teach them something that didn't really make sense before, but we were able to help them out with. So I really appreciate everyone who's been here and just wanted to share that little milestone, which is very exciting. Again, if you guys have any questions on the V1 or if there's some things that you want to know more about, leave those comments down below as well, and we'll try our best to include that in the next video. As always, thank you all again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.